Yeah. You know how we seek that higher knowledge? Only the ignorant can't relate. We just kill them with love instead of hate. That's what it's about.
We are Moors.
Shout out to the Grand Sheik, Cujo L, Iron Sheik.
We are Moors. Heard what I said? Circle 7 snapback, not just affairs. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Blue, white, green fairs, not just red. We are Moors. Heard what I said? Keep talking reckless and muftis for your head. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Your slave name crest might have a Moor head. We are Moors.
20 Moors rockin', you could call them Moroccans. Great COS adepts, let's get it poppin'. Got a problem with my sheep? Got a problem with me. I be on the front line rollin', 23 deep. I be studying for hours, 7 days a week, working on my higher self, cause the devil don't sleep. Big ups to Cujo L, that's the Iron Sheik. 7's up, facing the east, praising Allah. Astrology, cosmology, that's the real law. I slow roast ya, master the flame like Zoe Roaster. The rise of the new Moors, old heads move over. That Kundalini energy rising up like a cobra. This is training day, mount up with real soldiers. Elevate beyond the hate and claim your lost estate. The only reason you hate is you too blind to relate. The only reason you hate is you too blind to relate.
We are Moors. Heard what I said? Circle 7 snapback, not just affairs. We are Moors. You heard what I said? I don't rock a hat, just a turban, no affairs. We are Moors. Heard what I said? Keep talking reckless and muftis for your head. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Your slave name crest might have a Moor head. Stop talking crazy. You can't be everything but Moors. That's like willing to stay minority and not mature. Therefore, Taj Tariq Bey taught the world don't respect you. However, since you wanna be it, you go down when they fall. They, the ones you call government, that's really a corpse. Black man means funeral director. Should make sense, of course. Music is the food and the message, the medicine. Mumble food is poison. I'm with the golden era veterans like Mobb Deep, condolences, QB, RIP Prodigy, who studied the history of the Moors and etymology. You missed the Corsica headband, disguised as a bandana. Moorish MC, the real Moroccan, not a French Montana. Kendrick Lamar, you Sarahite, trust me, Hebrew's a language. Lupe put Moors in his video, made the point vantage. Yassine Bey knows Sabir, Bey knows Moorish Master MC. Fruquan Bey and Daddy IU are on some Moorish degrees. Sprague and Bojuno, they even killed Peter cause of Macintosh. Still visit Digable planets, hip-hop astronauts. Milky Way flow, rays of tassels, blind unbelievers. To higher than other senses, to still pick up the frequency. Pick your addiction, truth will still make itself known. To go platinum now, you gotta give up more plus your soul. Large Professor built pyramids, I watch Drink Champ steady. Cause Nori said Drew Ali on a track, so call me petty. Also Martin Moore exec produced the War Report album. Aboriginal Super Cat taught me how to hang and scalp them. Operation Lockdown, video feathers like I said a Duke. Initiate invasions, activate at doors every spook. We are Moors. Heard what I said? Circle 7 snapback, not just affairs. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Blue, white, green fairs, not just red. We are Moors. Heard what I said? Keep talking reckless and muftis for your head. We are Moors. You heard what I said? Your slave name crest might have a Moor head.
You sat down and you attacked the master teacher because you thought you heard something that you didn't hear. That's the first violation. You don't come in. First of all, you come in and you act like you come in peace, but you don't. You got an agenda.
Moors are men upright, independent and fearless. Dogmatized, dirty Moors, tongues cut out, left earless. Cause they never listen. Dirty Moors, keep up your slander. Wu-Tang torture in your ass, hot hangers. Kidnappers, dirty Moor, torture him like Saw. 3D, 0.5 or 1 through 4. Or get it like 5 or 6 with a fez on jigsaw. Leather face in a turban, rip dirty Moors lips off. Disrespecting the mother Raz Mariah Bay. Wrap him up like double crochet, the barbed wire way. Throw him off a bridge or feed him to the piranhas. Yellow journalists more spread nothing but propaganda. Idi Amin Bay, treat the temple like Uganda. Dirty Moors like foreigners, crush the dust like ganja. Not worthy of being Moors, we call them dirty Nehesus. Solomon Seal spell command 72 demons to get you.
This is what the temple guys actually said. That Canaanland is not a part of North America. Canaanland is bigger. Yo, it's ignorance, man. I mean, come on, you're talking about the same landmass. Canaanland is actually bigger than the landmass they know is the corporate United States. Almost twice as big. And if they had any sense, they can just go to Google and they can type in North America and find out North America goes all the way up to Greenland. But they're ignorant. They don't want to do that. They just dealing off emotion.
You might hear hoarse voices, see frog faces and hoots for feet. Demons we run with, spit fire with gold wolf teeth. Keep playing, forget backseats, new Moors are an issue. Get Kinsu, maybe a dream visit from Vishnu. A nightmare to never end and always continue. Cold as an igloo, dealing with my trust issues. Through vigilance, active Moors are militants. SPLC dirty Moors, call that sovereign citizen. Lying for views, they notice all the empty pews. Benz need gas and fixing, but not enough dues. Pigpen Bay sell you out for peanuts, claiming that we nuts. For teaching birthright, street level, keeping it beat nuts.
To any members of the MSTA that's out there listening to what I'm saying, please get it through your head. I don't have a problem with the MSTA. I got issues with
Keeping Kendrick Lamar, stay surrounded by feathers. Dirty's guilty of fraud if Drew Ali scrutinized their ledgers. Getting proclamations from Morocco, disrespect us. Corporate city only recognize people's court jesters. Handing their back, Moorish puppets and minions. Never get the human rights recognition like Moors near Virginia. Commonwealth, for active Moors knowledge, the Commonwealth. Dirties claim more, but really on the straw man health. Authenticating a birth certificate, that's not significant. Civil little more two status syndicates. In more face, watch them two more status Indians claiming Turtle Island are lying, so intricate.
long days and long nights. But this message needed to be heard.
Long days and long nights. But this message gonna be heard. Whether you want to hear it or not, that's up to you. For all those who want to hear it, honors to you. For all the Moor haters out there, they want to be everything else but Moors, F you. Talking crazy.
Constant and consistent reminder of our historical journey in America. And being declassified from the human race and then brought down to a lower race that symbolized color. When we talk black, white, mulatto, he did not want us to be classified in these racial categories, but to be elevated back to the human race, where there was only one race, and that was called human. As he said in his famous speech, the Negro finds himself a slave in his own land. That means that, you know, we have been consistently and constantly fighting, whether it be from Frederick Douglass, his writings, whether it be from W.E.B. Du Bois, his writings, John Henry Clark on the African writings, again, Drew Ali speaking about the Moorish history here in the United States of America.
Moorish history here in the United States of America. Not Moorish history in North Africa. Not Moorish history in the Congo with Moors at fezzes on, cutting people's hands off and all that stuff. Not Moorish history of Europe, over in Europe over there, where the Moors built the Alhambra. Not Moorish history in Pakistan and India and Sri Lanka and all that, where all of them know that they're Moors. Not Moorish history in Cambodia and Indonesia and all that, Angkor Wat and all that stuff. Not Moorish history there. Moorish history in the Americas. Where's all the Moor debaters at? Where's all the Moor debaters at? I hear any of you people make a video talking crazy about Isaiah Thomas though. How come? He said Moorish. How come? Where's all those people? Well, he said Moor-ish, and ish means that you're not Moor, you're ish. Where are those people at? Where's all the people who said, no, that's not Noble Drew Ali, that's Thomas and all this type of stuff, and he was a circus magician and he had crystal balls and he was pretending to be a snake oil salesman. Where's all those people at? How come they're not debating? How come? Where are they at? There should be a multiplicity of videos from a multiplicity of these people talking crazy to Isaiah Thomas because he said Noble Drew Ali and he said Moorish. Where are they at? Nowhere to be found. But what do they want to do? They're not going to go on his thing, right? They're not going to go on his stuff. And they're not going to make any comments. They're going to make no comments whatsoever. Nothing. They're going to make no comments, but they're going to talk crazy to Moors. Where are they at? Where are they? Where are they? Where are they at? Dropping jewels. Love you. Where are they at? Applause. Where are they? How come they're on here talking crazy? What are they going to do? They're going to tag Moors in BS. The tag Moors in BS. Y'all Moors got some explaining to do. I know that the Arabs went to Africa, enslaved and killed many Africans in North and Central Africa, made them become Muslim, and programmed them to go and capture fellow Africans. And that letter that George Washington sent to the Sultan of Morocco was George thanking him for help with colonization of America. Obviously, Serious Convenience didn't read the letter. Obviously, his perspective is supremely off with regards to George Washington and some Sultan of Morocco. Because George Washington also apologized for not paying his taxes to the Moors. But you're not going to bring that up. First line, Sultan, I'm sorry that we didn't pay the taxes. You know what I mean? Like, please don't take our head right now. Please, we beg you, don't take our head right now. We didn't mean not to pay the taxes. We only didn't pay the taxes because Moors robbed us. So, we're caught in a pickle here. Like, what do you want from us? They weren't in some superior position. Those are some modern Europeans who didn't even have a country. What are you talking about? Why do you think they're going to the Sultan of Morocco for stuff? Why didn't they go to some European country to go get some authority? Why didn't they go to a European country, get some doctrine of discovery authority to start up a government over here for Europeans? How come? Why didn't they go to the Queen or somebody? Why did they go to the Moors for? And then dumbasses have you thinking that Moors are in some superior, some subordinate position to some Europeans in their own land. We're in our own land, but we're listening to what George is saying because he's the president of some BS. That's incompetent thinking. That's European psychology on an Asiatic mind. And we're going to keep making examples of these people so you know not to be a dumbass. And don't you dare talk crazy to Moors, tagging Moors in BS. Right? What are they going to bring out? They're going to bring out their There are 103 facts about the black Indian and all this BS. They're going to bring that out, right? But, you know, conveniently, they're not going to tell you about the sections that they don't talk about in their little try to make the Moors look like clowns. They want to talk crazy about Moors, but they're never going to show you the book. While they're using the book to try to play games with Moors. Right? Number 11, that they're never going to show you. The dark-skinned natives indigenous to the Western Hemisphere, aka Indians, were reclassified during the 17 and 1800s as Negroes and Coloreds. The dark-skinned natives, this is all the Cherokee and the whoever's that they're talking about, right? They're talking about all of them. Indigenous to the Western Hemisphere, aka Indians, right? Also known as, not known as, also known as. On top of other things, they're also called Indians. Lenni Lenape tribe of Delaware has codes that apply to them. They're an Indian tribe of Delaware. This Indian tribe of Delaware, while the black guys say that, yeah, we're part of that because the Indians were classified as Negroes and all that stuff. All right. Delaware Code 29, Section 106, Part 4. The tribe was formerly known as Moors, and for many decades of the 20th century, state governments, such as driver's licenses, designated the tribe's race with a M. What does M stand for? Indian? Does N stand for Negro? Does N stand for colored? What does M stand for? M stands for black guy? M stands for Aboriginal, Indigenous, Autochthonous, American of the soil and all that? No, it doesn't. It stands for Moors. And these people were Indians. And they know that they're Moors. To the point where they classified them with M on their license. Because they're Moors. Aboriginal and Indigenous to the Americas. Nobody went and debated the Delaware codes. Where are the great debaters who always have some BS to talk about Moors? How come they never went to go debate Delaware? Delaware just told you the same thing that the Moors said. Moors are Aboriginal and Indigenous. We're not Indians. So we ain't getting no I's on our stuff. We're not slaves, so we're not getting no S on our stuff. We're not Indigenous, Aboriginal, we're getting no I's and we're not getting any A's. We're getting M's. As Lenni Lenape. We're called Lenni Lenape and the license doesn't even say L on it. It says M. Because the Lenni Lenape are Moors. So if Lenni Lenape are Moors, then wouldn't that mean that all the Aboriginal Indigenous tribes and all that stuff, bands and all that, wouldn't that mean that all of them are Moors too? No? It doesn't mean that? Oh, okay. You stay over there with your incompetence then. So maybe play those nigger games with the niggers You're not playing those games with Moors. Keep playing the BS like you don't think Aboriginal indigenous people are Moors. Right? The fez, an original American headdress. The kufi, an original American headdress. And then this is getting put up by some Hebrew Israelites. They're trying to tell Moors, you see, the kufi is American, so we're Hebrew Israelites. And that's how it is because we're Hebrew Israelites. No, you're not. You're definitely not. Because in the book, We Are Moors, a Jew isn't a Jew until he converts to Islam. A Jew is not a Jew until he converts to Islam. What do you mean Hebrew Israelites? We're not no damn Hebrew Israelites and we're not no damn Jews. We're Moors. But we're going to leave that alone because that's on the other side of the... Oh, you want to bring it over here? Oh, you 12 tribes and then tribes are the Indian tribes and all that? Oh, all right, cool. Let's play over here then with the Hebrew BS. Now, why is... Because remember, the Hebrew are the one who crossed the river. The river is the Atlantic Ocean. So, if the world was one landmass, and there was a river that some people crossed over, there were Moors over there, but when they crossed over this thing, they became Hebrew Israelites. What are they? Hebrew Israelites, or are they still Moors? Why is it in Harlem there was Moorish Zionist Jews? How come they weren't called Hebrew Israelites? They studied Hebrew. They said that they were from the tribe of Israel and all that stuff, but they were Moors. To the point where they put Moorish on the sign. So you know that they're Moors. You can't even debate it that they're Moors or not Moors. There's nothing to debate. So don't tell me about kufi, the American headdress because of Hebrew Israelites. No, it's not. It's because of Moors. Because Jews, Hebrew Israelites, Nubians, whatever you want to call them, are Moors. That's who these people are. Whole planet knows this. Only Moors wear fezzes. Indians don't wear fezzes. Black Indians, Cherokee, they don't wear fezzes. Only Moors wear fezzes. Do you really think we're not Moors? We're something else? Playing around with people? On top of that, on folio 472 of this ancient document, it is catalogued with other objects in featherwork containing in a chest number 9 and is described as a Moorish hat of beautiful, long, lustrous green and gold loom-hued feathers, bedecked above with white, red, and blue feathers and gold rosettes and ornaments. In front of the forehead, it was a beak of pure gold. The term Moorish, as here applied, can scarcely be regarded as a deceptive one, inasmuch as Montezuma, the king of Turkmenistan and Mexico, is subsequently designated as a Moorish king in the same inventory of 1596. It is interesting to note the gradual changes that occur in the wording of the subsequent periodical official registrations of this Moorish hat. In 1613, its description was faithfully reproduced. In 1621, the word Indian was substituted for Moorish. So then if we go So if we go to 103 amazing facts about the black Indian, what is this book really about? If Indian was substituted for Moor, and the Lenni Lenape got designated as M and all that, and Montezuma had a Moorish hat, not an Indian hat, not a Mexican hat, not a Native American hat, a Moorish hat, quote unquote, big quotes, Moorish hat. What are you talking about? 103 facts about the black Indians. That's 103 facts about the black Moors. And all these people played you because they didn't tell you that Indian was substituted. 100 amazing facts about the black Moors of the Western Hemisphere. Which is again why we keep on. That's why we keep on playing it for you.
Constant and consistent reminder to own
As a
land.
consistent reminder.
That means that, you know, we have been consistently and constantly fighting, whether it be from Frederick Douglass, his writings, whether it be from W.E.B. Du Bois, his writings, John Henry Clark on the African writings, again, Drew Ali speaking about the Moorish history here in the United States of America.
The Moorish history in the United States of America is the 103 amazing facts about the black Moors of the Western Hemisphere. Because Indian was substituted for Moorish. So anything that you read that says Indian, they're lying to you. That's supposed to say Moorish, and somebody's lying. And now you need to check anybody who's telling you Indian, because they're a liar. Because Indian was substituted for Moorish. And if they claim to be Indian, they should know that they're Moors. As soon as they're talking about native, all this stuff, and they're not saying that they're Moors, know that they're a traitor. And they are about the fall of the Moors, not the rise of the Moors. That's what they're all about. Talking about some 1492 BS. We're Moors right here now in your face on IG. There's Moors right now in this chat or whatever. There's Bays and L's in this chat right now. There's Moors, we give you an address, knock the door right now, Moors gonna open the door. Your problem, you think we're Moors and you're not Moors. You've been taught by your nigger leaders that, oh yeah, we got the races, all the different races, and that's European psychology. That's Blumenbach and all these frauds who tricked you into thinking about this as you're everything except a Moor, not even knowing that you're playing yourself. And then your own are going to convince you that you're not Moors. Your own are going to convince you. This is 10 minutes of research. Now you can find out that the Indian was substituted for Moorish. And that the Delaware codes say the Indians were formerly known as Moors. You need more than that. If you need more than that, then you might as well just put the gun in the mouth, pull the trigger right now, because you're useless. You might as well. You're just taking up space that other people could probably use. They do more than you with your incompetent ass. But you're tagging Moors. You don't tag Moors. What are you tagging Moors about? You don't tag Moors. Right? Tagging Moors in BS. Like we don't know Moors did this. And like we don't know any Moor with a fez on doing BS is European psychology. Because that's the whole point of why they have them in the fez, to make you think, just like this jackass, that, oh, fezes, that means Moors and evil and it has nothing to do with me. Because I'm not a Moor. Oh yeah? Everything has to do with you. The good and the ugly that you don't want to deal with. Your traitorous stuff that you don't want to deal with. You'll claim some kings and queens and all that stuff, but when it comes to the BS that you did, well, you never claim that. No responsibility wants the Indians, the blacks, the Negroes, or whatever. All they want is the flashy dashy. When really, that's upside down. Because you have to take the good with the bad. You have to. You can't just take the good. Who are you? Who do you think you are? God alone's not good. God murdered people in the Bible and stuff like that. What are you talking about? Stop the dumb stuff. Don't let these people tell you BS to make you hate your nationality and your birthright as a Moor. There's good and bad in everything. There's good and bad in everything. Right. But let's see what they're putting out here. Right. The term Moor was applied to dark-skinned, brown-skinned, and reddish-skinned people who were not only indigenous to Europe, but to West and North Africa. Even black Indians of the Western Hemisphere were also dubbed with this title. Remember, this is 103 amazing facts about the black Moors. The term Moor was applied to dark skin, so that's everybody who has dark skin. Brown skin, oh, that's for everybody who has brown skin. Reddish brown skin, so that means reddish brown skin people also are Moors. Even the black Indians of the Western Hemisphere were called Moors. So if the black Indians were called Moors, then how you Indians? How? How are you Indians but not Moors? You're going to claim Indian. Well, my grandma said that we're Indian, so we're Indian. Grandma's an idiot, because Indian was substituted for Moorish. So your grandma didn't know what she was talking about. She was talking crazy. Right? Why? Because she just gave up the birthright for these bottles of moonshine or whatever. Why? You're a dumbass right now. Your grandma drank the moonshine pregnant with your mom. Now you're dumb. Give up the birthrights for a bowl of porridge. And porridge finished, now you're talking about where's the birthrights? Give me my stuff back. What do you mean? Porridge is done. What are you talking about? And you let these people play games with you. Look at your conditions now. Don't even know what to do with yourself. Because of your own. Indigenous black Celtics, indigenous black Britons, indigenous black Portuguese, and indigenous black Spaniards, all also known as Moors. So you thought that The Celts and the Britons and the Portuguese, you thought those were Europeans. And the Spaniards, you thought those were Europeans. They weren't Europeans. Those aren't pale people. Britons are not pale people. People in the UK and all that stuff, that's not pale people. There's pale people today. But when our ancestors ran stuff, there were no pale people in Europe running anything. Just like there are no red whatever Indians in America running anything. It was Moors all over the planet. To the point where even the black Britons, the indigenous black Celtics, the indigenous Portuguese, the Spaniards, all of them are Moors. And you don't get what you got yourself caught up in 103 amazing stuff, and you didn't consider two of these, number 11 and number 33. And 32. Letting you know, we're Moors. Real simple. Nah, you want some 50-book breakdown of some stuff. It's not that crazy. It's simple. You like too much advanced stuff because people sent you out to the quasars to try and know about yourself. You don't even know what's going on under your feet. But you're gonna tell me about behind some sun and all that stuff. There's black lands there with our people on them, and they have their own Black Wall Street there. Get the hell out of here. Fix what's under your feet first. These Moors were well informed of the different customs, traditions, and languages of the natives of the Western Hemisphere. These dark-skinned Europeans, Moors, were used as buffers by pale-skinned Europeans to help colonize the New World. These dark-skinned Europeans, Moors, right? These dark-skinned Europeans, Moors. Period. So what are they telling you? That dark-skinned people are Moors. Again. You're looking at what they did and how come the Moors did it. No. The ones who did good stuff, they're Moors too. The ones who did BS, they're Moors too. Don't get mad at the dirt that your ancestors did. Hold that. That's to let you know. And and if you look right now, and you look around, it's these same dark-skinned Europeans, Moors, who are being used as buffers by pale-skinned Europeans to help colonize the minds of our people in the New World right now. The same dark-skinned Moors working with the enemy to keep our people in mental servitude. Once they got the mind, body's going to do whatever the mind's doing. So these dark-skinned Europeans, Moors, were used as buffers by pale-skinned Europeans to help colonize the New World. These indigenous black Europeans, aka Moors, not only solicited the New World to pale-skinned Europeans, but also waged war on indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere, aka Indians. Hold on a second. AKA Indians? But don't forget, in 1613, its description, the Moorish hat, was faithfully reproduced as Indian hat. And in 1621, the word Indian was substituted for Moorish. So Indian is not really what they should be saying. They should really be saying Moorish. So when they say these indigenous black Europeans, aka Moors, not only solicited the New World to pale-skinned Europeans, but also waged war on indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere, aka Moors, not Indians. Now do you get why you've been lost when you read this stuff? Your history of yourself, and when you watch these YouTube videos, and then you just can't figure out how come. How? Because every single thing that they called us was a substitute for Moors. Because if they just came out and told you that you're Moors, stuff will be done tomorrow. But you don't want stuff easy. You love it hard because of your nigger mindset. You love stuff hard, not easy. So enjoy. Enjoy the pitfalls. Enjoy the pitfalls. Don't let them play games with you. Indian was substituted for Moors. Certain black indigenous Europeans, aka Moors, right? Not aka Africans, not aka anything else, aka Moors. No etc. or nothing like that. Because everybody knows what's up. It's only our people that are dumb and don't want to embrace who they are. That's what self-hatred is. Not wanting to be more. Self-hatred isn't you don't want to be black. Self-hatred is you don't want to be African. Self-hatred is you don't want to have a Moorish nationality. That's really what self-hatred is. Certain black indigenous Europeans, aka Moors, that went under such titles as clergymen and European nobility, shared a common consciousness with pale-skinned Europeans. That common consciousness being that the indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere, aka Indians, were untamed heathen savages. Of course, they were untamed heathen savages because they're calling themselves Indian. If they're calling themselves Moors, they would have the honor and the legacy and the dignity of their ancient foremothers and forefathers who run the planet. You want to be Indian? Or you want to be black, Negro colored or whatever? All right, well, those are serf terms. Property have those terms. So if you want to be property, go right ahead. Ain't nobody going to argue with you if you want to be property. Nobody's going to argue with you. They're going to go with you being African queen and all this stuff where queen means prostitute. Queen doesn't mean what you think queen means. Queen means prostitute. Oh, you want to be queen, huh? Oh, okay. Go right ahead. Go right ahead. And then continue on. Continue on. Remember, they're continuing on the legacy of our misfortune. You're carrying on lovingly, parading around with misfortune as if that's the spot, as if that's how it should be for people on the planet. And then try to get you to not hear what Moors are saying, as if we don't know what we're talking about. We know exactly what we're talking about. We know what we're talking about. Everybody backs us. Everyone backs us. All these mayors putting out their proclamations in honor of Noble Juali, in honor of the Moors being the indigenous people and all that stuff, but you're debating Moors. How come none of your Moor-hating great debaters never went and debated Rahm Emanuel, Barbara Bass? How come they never went and debated them? How they never went and debated Kathy McBride, Jim Suttle? How come they didn't debate them? Why they only debating Moors? Oh, you don't know what the proclamation said? Oh, okay, let's read one of these. Okay, I thought you knew what was going on. You claim you know yourself and all that stuff. You don't know what's going on? Okay. Tacoma, Washington, 2012. Marilyn Strickland, Mayor. Proclamation. Whereas the Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, Hamathites, and Canaanites, who were permitted by the old pharaohs of Kemet to traverse from East Africa and later formed themselves kingdoms extended from northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa, the Atlantic islands, onto the present-day continental Americas. And whereas the indigenous Moorish peoples of the Americas are now united in order to again link themselves with the family of nations. And whereas the Moorish Americans, being aboriginal to the territories of North, Central, and South America, have formed a sovereign theocratic government guided by the command principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, through virtue of the universal peoples guaranteed in the Charter. Theocratic government guided by the right to self-determination, as well as with the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples guaranteed in the Charter. And whereas on January 8th, 1886, Noble Drew Ali was born in the state of North Carolina, destined to become the first patriot of his mentally enslaved Moorish American people. In 1912, he was later anointed as El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali by the heads of Egypt and the holy city of Mecca to return to the United States as the last prophet and founding father of the newly risen nation of Moorish Americans. As a result of the 13th Amendment, Moorish people were emancipated from slavery in 1865. Now, therefore, I, Marilyn Strickland, Mayor of the City of Tacoma, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the week of January 8th to the 15th, 2012 as Moorish American Week in the City of Tacoma. And I urge all residents to recognize the events planned for this time. That's what the proclamations say. So, who are you to try to debate Moors, getting on Moors IG, sending BS in the DM, tagging us in BS about Moors, when you people don't have you people are notwithstanding. All of you fakers that want to be anything except Moors, all of you, we know that you're fakers. We can't have no conversations until you pay your tithes or proclaim your nationality. Proclaim your nationality. Because we are not Negro, black, colored. If you want to play that stuff, go right ahead. Don't think that you're going to be swinging that BS on Moors. You're not going to be swinging that crap. Because we know who we are. We know who we are. We know who we are. We don't assume who we are. We know who we are as Moors. And being that we know who we are, we know you don't know who you are. So you better start listening to Moors, because all these Europeans are backing everything that the Moors are saying. And again, just to remind you, in case you didn't know or you didn't hear, just in case.
And back to the human race, where there was only one race, and that was called human. As he said in his famous speech, the Negro finds himself a slave in his own land. That means that, we have been consistently and constantly fighting, whether it be from Frederick Douglass, his writings, whether it be from W.E.B. Du Bois, his writings, John Henry Clark on the African writings, again, Drew Ali speaking about the Moorish history here in the United States of America. These things that were talked about were just reminders of who we were in the past and what our fight has been in this country. We did not want to be called human race, where there was only one race, and that was called human. As he said in his famous speech, the Negro finds himself a slave in his own land. That means that, we have been consistently and constantly fighting, whether it be from Frederick Douglass, his writings, whether it be from W.E.B. Du Bois, his writings, John Henry Clark on the African writings, again, Drew Ali speaking about the Moorish history here in the United States of America. The
more you want. You need more than that, you're done for already. Just give it up if you need more than that. Give it up. Honor to all the Moors. Anybody got any questions? Put them in the chat. If not, we proved our point. Because also too, right, we message people. We let them know that we're going to go live. They're talking crazy. We let them know that we're going to go live. About to go live. Bring your facts. Don't bitch out now. Go in an hour. We've been on this for an hour. Still ain't even here yet. I'm definitely down to debate. I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time right now. Oh, too bad, so sad. Too bad, so sad. But you should be dropping whatever you're doing if your claims are so strong, then if your claims are so strong, you should be dropping what you're doing to be on this. Tell me about go an hour. You don't pick anything. You don't got any authority. You're a clown. You're a troll. Somebody sent you. Somebody sent you. Don't get mad because Isaiah said it. He didn't mention none of you guys' fake identities. He said all those are fictions. Black, Negro, colored, any other stuff we're human. Stop the dumb stuff. Told everybody. Drew Ali and the Moorish history here in the United States of America. What history is that? The Aboriginal indigenous history of the Moors here, who everybody classifies as Negro and Indian. And now they're running with the fact that they're Indian and they're Black, Cherokee, and all this crap. Which all that stuff is a fiction. But they never tell you. Because they're working with the other side to keep you in mental servitude to these foreigners in your own land. And you keep calling them government when they're foreigners in your land. And you keep calling them whatever when they're foreigners in your land. Now you don't want to get it, that they're foreigners in your land. And then you want to be always from somewhere else. So you're not from here, you're from a planet 50 billion miles, light years away from Earth. That's where you're from. But what are you doing here then? What are you doing here if you're from there? Well, you see, when the ancestors and then I gave in this body and I'm in the flesh. Yeah, all right. The hell out of here. You're Aboriginal indigenous to this land. We're not Negro, Black, colored, Indian, or none of that. We're Moors. Everybody knows we're Moors. everybody knows everything that we've been calling ourselves other than Moors is a substitute for Moors, is synonymous with Moors. But you want to be all this synonymous stuff and not be what you are. All right, cool. I'm not going to play with Moors. We already got our message. Isaiah brought our message from our prophet for us, that we're right exactly where we're supposed to be. Don't even worry about these people talking crazy. Because those that were with Noble Drew Ali are with him now. And those that were against Noble Drew Ali are against him now. Ain't nothing changed, ain't nothing changed. Ask Bell Bib Devo, they'll tell you. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Peace and love to all the thinkers. We're already productive in the society because we have our own society. We're not concerned about the European colonial democratic society. We have our own societies going on. You Moors keep thinking they're the government or something. They have some type of authority. They're foreigners in your land. And the only way they have jurisdiction is when you give it. And we keep giving it. Don't get it messed up. Like Moors haven't been putting in work, and Moors don't have businesses, and Moors don't have certain things. Moors have done things. It's our people who aren't getting down what the Moors are doing, which is why there's stagnancy. And people want to debate about what works and what doesn't work. Moor stuff been working since the 1900s. Nationality is the order of the day still today. We know Moors with businesses, that they're taking care of their family or whatever from their business. We know Moors that took their jacket off their back and gave it to somebody homeless. Don't tell me about find a way to make and be productive. We are that. If you're not that, you're not active enough. Don't look at other Moors because of your inactivity and then apply your inactivity to all Moors. There's Moors who are out here making a positive impression on society as Moors. Not as Negro, blacks and all that, as Moors. Pressing palms with officials in government. Inspiring prominent people who you thought were some shake ass people or whatever like that, or just some bounce a ball nigger, and they're telling you about Noble Drew Ali. What do you think they're doing that for? Because Moors inspired them to do that. Not of their own volition. Moors made them realize, oh damn, this Moor stuff is real or whatever. This is not just some stuff in a book. Moors did that. I don't think you're really convinced still. I still think you're not really there like you're supposed to be there. Not really there like you're supposed to be there. Because I think you're still missing it. You're still missing it. You still don't get what the hell's going on.
Of our historical journey in America, and being declassified from the human race and then brought down to a lower race that symbolized color. When we talk black, white, mulatto, he did not want us to be classified in these racial categories, but to be elevated back to the human race, where there was only one race, and that was called human. As he said in his famous speech, the Negro finds himself a slave in his own land. that means that, we have been consistently and constantly fighting, whether it be from Frederick Douglass.
Right. I see this all the time. Been rotating since 1988 in this science. We are not making the necessary moves as a whole. What do you mean we're not making the necessary moves as a whole? What do you mean? Because I don't know what Moors that you know, but the Moors who I know are active Moors. And they're being Moors in their jurisdiction where they live. And they're having a positive impact on society because more people are knowing about who the Moors are in a positive light, not the BS that people are trying to use to show people that you don't want to be Moors because look what they did. You're not doing anything as a whole without all these Negro, black, colored people waking up. That's why these modern Europeans told these people the Moors formed themselves into a theocratic society. Because they can't put a pair of pants on a horse. So people want to play their horse games and their crabs in the bucket games and all that stuff, then you go be a crab in the bucket over there. We're over here in our own jurisdiction as Moors. And again, if you've been in this since 88 and you can't tell me something that you have done to make sure that Moors are out here and the word's out and people know or whatever, then you haven't been active. And you're the last person that should be talking about Moors need to do something as a whole if you haven't even done anything yourself yet as a Moor. Don't tell me about what the whole of the Moors didn't do. And then when we check your resume, you don't even got nothing to show what you did for the Moors. What have you done for the Moors? Since 88. Because we got into this 08. And we could say we did stuff as Moors. We got ample amounts of examples to show that we're doing stuff as Moors. We're in the jurisdiction of Canaanland, that people call Canada, Toronto, which is an indigenous word, not European. So don't tell me no BS about, oh, don't talk crazy. Just push the thing. Because you're gonna talk crazy in the chat about do research when we just showed 1 hour of research right here. That anybody could go fact check anything that we set up here today. We're not talking about research. You're bringing in new stuff now. We're talking about what you've been doing since 1988 as a Moor. I don't care what research you did. Like, what have you done? If you're from 88, then you have to have done as much as Hakeem Bey did. Because he's 80s too. He's 80s too. Because you're talking about what the Moors haven't done. What have you done for the Moors?
Yo, peace.
Peace.
Okay, so the point I was trying to make is this, Mo, is that all I hear is a lot of more saying what they are doing and what they aren't doing. Me personally, I do the work. I do the research. I ain't one of these Moors to sit up here and they just go on Instagram or hide behind YouTube. I don't do that. Like I said, I've been rotating this science, man, since 1988. And I just say what Moles say they doing and what they not doing. And a lot of people, I don't. Excuse me.
Could you put what you've done since 88 for the Moors on the record? Like, what have you done?
Well, from 1985 to 2009, I was locked up. I was incarcerated during that whole period. So when I came home in 2009, I've been heavily and most definitely on the grind. I've done the research. Like I say, I even opened up my own shop. So I constantly got guys to come in my barber shop that I constantly give them, I give them the knowledge.
So
You know,
then,
I've done this.
so how are you saying that Moors need to do something positive to society when you're doing that?
Well, I'm not saying that Moors are not doing nothing positive. What I'm saying is that we need to find the means to come together collectively. Because what I hear, and I stress this to Sabir, because, you know, I talked to Sabir also. What I hear is a lot of Moors is doing a whole lot of backbiting and this, that, and third. And I'm like, yo, that's not our space. That's not our fight. We're supposed to be building collectively together. So if one more needs something, hey, we can say, you know what? Come on, we got that brother. We got that sister. You know what I mean? But that's not what.
No, but who says that's not what it is? Like, for example, Amor called me from across the Atlantic Ocean because they're going through a divorce, and we sat on the phone with them as Moors and helped them out with their stuff that they're dealing with. So what are you talking about?
Well, like I say, collectively, I don't see
No,
it.
but that's collective. We're in Canada. They're across the Atlantic Ocean, and we had a conversation just today. That means Moors are united and they're collectively doing things. So for you to say Moors aren't collectively doing things, that's why I'm saying, well, what is it that you're doing? Because I know for a fact, I know Sabir personally.
Yes.
When Sabir came here, we went to go meet Sabir where he was at, sat down with him and took picture and all that.
I've been up to Toronto, so I build with a few Moors that were up there. You know what I mean? I've been up to Toronto. I've done the Alhambra. I went over to Paris, done the research over there. Went over to ancient Rome, done the research over there. So like I say, I'm not one of these Moors to sit back on my heels. A Mo can go on my page to see the work that I do. I put the info out there. I don't ask for donations. I don't do none of that. I do the work myself, and then I give it to other Moors and say, hey, come on in collectively and let's build. That's what I do. I don't have no handouts. I don't want handouts. I don't do none of that. It ain't about none of that for me. So when I see Moors doing that, I'm like, yo, these guys are really trying to be industrious. You know what I mean? Industrious means to build collectively as a people. That's the only thing Moors supposed to be trying to do, build together collectively as a people. Not run around trying to figure out.
But Moors could only build collectively if they're in the same jurisdiction. If you're talking about building something, because wherever the thing's built is what Moors are going to gravitate to. So where you're at, you built something. You built something where you're at. So we can't say that, well, the Moors aren't whatever when we, as an example, if you're a Moor and we have you as an example, to say that Moors have a shop that people are learning about Moorish birthrights from, then we can't say Moors aren't doing that because you're a prime example of that. Nobody can say temples aren't doing their job because we're a Moorish science temple out here and we have a building and all that. We got members and all that stuff. We got Moors who know about their birthrights that walk around here with their fezzes on and all that stuff. So my thing was just that we are doing what it is. It might not be in the greatest capacity, but you can't say Moors aren't doing certain things because, again, you're a prime example that Moors are doing stuff.
At the end of the day, I'm not sure. You in Toronto?
Yeah.
Okay. Probably after this whole pandemic passes, I most definitely will. I'll have to get in touch with you. You most definitely have to link because I do come over to Toronto. I'm right here in Cleveland. So you're like about 4 hours away. You know, and I've been up there quite a few times, but and I've met a couple Moors when I was up there before.
No, but if you came up here after 2008, then whoever those Moors that you connected with out here should have told you about us, because we're the first Moors out here. We're the Moors who were the first talking about Moors out here. Nobody was talking about Moors before we started talking about Moors out here. So anybody who was telling you about, yeah, come on to Toronto and meet the Moors or whatever, and they never told you about Grand Sheik Cujo, they never told you about Moor Science Temple, they never told you about Canaanland Moors, you are probably with some traitors. Because we're the foundation of Moors out here. Nobody was talking about Moors before we were talking about Moors out here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they necessarily traders more. That I wouldn't necessarily call them traders. You know what I mean?
What you
Because
mean?
every
How? How? If I know you have a barbershop that does great haircuts and you're a Moor, and there's a nigger over there that has a barbershop, why am I gonna send him to the nigger if I'm a Moor? I'm a
well,
traitor if I do that.
he didn't send me anywhere specifically. Like I said, when I came up there, I came up there specifically for the Carabana, you know. But while I was up there, I did come in contact with a few more. As a matter of fact, one of the Moors, he was working at Planet Fitness, so I left him a flag. I even gave him a flag. He didn't even have a flag, so I buried him a gift. I was like, "Here, this is yours. You know what I mean? You can have this." And you know,
No,
he
what
was
you're
so
not under, no, what
gracious.
you're not getting. What I'm saying is that
Yeah.
any Moor that you talk to out here, they came through our temple to be a Moor or to know about Moors. They didn't just learn that on their own.
Okay.
So somebody who you came out here for Caravana and you bumped into a Moor at the parade, that Moor is a Moor who I know personally. If they don't tell you, hey, here's the number for Grand Sheikh Kudro, or
Mm-hmm.
here's the address for the temple, they're a traitor. Because there's no need for them not to tell you to connect with me out here unless they have some ulterior motives or they're not really down with what we're down with. It's that simple. No different if I know a Moor is going for Philadelphia. I'm gonna tell that Moor, yo, go hit up this Moor. I know this Moor personally. Make sure when you go there, you hit them and tell them Kudro sent you. Make sure you go talk to that Moor over there. Make sure you go, here's a number for a sister that lives down the street from where you're at. Make sure you tell them Grand Sheik gave you the number to call them. That's how it goes with Moors. If they're not running it like that, they're traitors.
Mm. Well, I guess that's your perspective on how, you know, you consider a lot of Morrisons up there. You know what I'm saying? The brother, he greeted me in peace, so, you know, there was no dilemma there.
Yeah,
You
you're
know,
still missing it. You're still
no,
not
I get what
getting it.
you're saying. I get what you're saying. You're saying that he's a traitor because he didn't take the initiative to initiate you to me or me to you.
Yeah, he has to. What do you mean? What do you mean? He's not a Moor because of him. He's a Moor because he came through our platform. He came through
Well,
our school. He came
what
through
I'm
our
saying is
temple.
this.
He came through our barbecue that we have every year. He came through our Noble Jubilee Day that we have every year. Has to be somebody who knows me personally. And if they're gonna come out here, I know Moors who don't know any Moors here. And they came out here and they reached out to me personally. They looked me up in the phone book to
Mm-hmm.
call me and say, yo, Grand Sheik, I'm just in town. I just wanted to, press palms with you because I'm out here for Caravana.
Yeah, yeah.
If they're not
Well,
doing that, they're not pushing Moorish unity. They're not pushing Moorish unity. And if they're not pushing Moorish unity, that's a violation of the Holy Covenant, and that's traitor.
well, at the same time, in all fairness, like I said, before I sit there and call them more traitor, you know, there was a thing called time restriction because, like I said, I don't have a whole lot of time when I was up there. I was up there to do what I wanted to do and kick it, you know what I mean? And you know, at the same time, we bumped into each other, we rotated, you know, and that was that. You know, I understand you feel like that because he didn't initiate our contact between me and you, that he's a traitor. But my perspective is this, and how I raise Moore is that nobody can validate him being a Moor. Not MST of A, not none of these other Moor circles. He's a Moor by blood, by birthright.
No,
He
but
doesn't
I'm
need
not
a temple
arguing
to
that.
validate
I'm
that.
not that has nothing to do with that
Well, that's
with
pretty
what I'm
much
saying.
along the line what you just said. You know what I mean? You know, but I just want to elaborate on that. You know what I'm saying? That no man can validate his status. That doesn't take away from
No,
him
no,
being
no.
a Moor. Maybe
You're
it was.
that's what I'm saying. You're missing it.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about Moorish unity and Moors need to do this together and Moors need to do that together. Well, the Moor who connected with you out here should have gave you my number, gave me your number, told you, hey, we have a temple out here.
Mm-hmm.
There's Moors out here. I'm not just some Moor at Caravana dancing with a girl or whatever. I'm a Moorish American. I'm part of the Moorish nation. We got Moors out here. Guarantee you, if they're not going to make the connection, they're a traitor. Guarantee you, if that individual has a name
and you tell me their name, I bet you I can tell you that they're a member of our temple, and I haven't seen them probably in 5 years. So they're a traitor.
Well, I have to go back in my contacts because, matter of fact, it was two Moors that I met, when I was up there. It wasn't just one, it was two that I met when I was up there.
Even worse. Even worse. If you met two Moors out here and none of those Moors told you connect with Grand Sheik Kudjo, then no wonder you're talking how you're talking about the Moors need to do whatever. Because maybe you're right. Maybe shit is messed up. Maybe I have stuff messed up and I'm not seeing stuff right. But I doubt that. But if you're telling me that you connected with two Moors out here and both these Moors told you Islam Moor and that was it. They didn't prop themselves as being members of the temple. They didn't prop themselves as being part of the Moorish nation out here. They're part of the establishment of this out here. This is not some temple stuff that we're doing out here. This is Moorish nation stuff we're doing out here. And any Moors who I know that are sincere and all that stuff, they're always going to tell somebody called the Grand Sheik first. Always. Not because of some leader thing or whatever. Not because I think I'm high and mighty or nothing like that. But because they have allegiance to their movement and their nation. And why wouldn't they tell somebody to reach out to other people in their nation? Not even just me.
Well, I get it. The perspective you're talking about is a means of networking. But like I said, at the same time, there was a thing of time constriction there. You know what I mean? So
no, but
I don't hold it against him. I don't hold it against him because
if it's about networking, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody at Planet Fitness or whatever. That's not Moorish. Planet Fitness isn't a Moorish thing. Like how they promoting that's where they're from. Oh yeah, I'm LB, but I work at McDonald's.
No, well,
what are you talking about?
I was going there to work out, and the Moor happened to work there. You know what I mean?
I'm not denying that.
Okay.
I'm letting you know that if they're gonna pump some Planet Fitness before they pump the temple that they belong to, they're a traitor. If they're gonna pump the vegan restaurant that they went to, whatever, without telling them about the vegan Moor who they know, they're a traitor. If I know a Moor has a barbershop and I'm sending people to the nigger barbershop instead of the Moorish barbershop, I'm a traitor. It's that simple.
Well, you got to meet people where they at, Mo. You know what I mean?
Now we got to meet them where they at. Well, it is what it is. That's why the Moors are where they're at.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, like I say,
we want to keep giving traitors passes instead of accepting the fact that people were traitorous. And yeah, it is what it is. You know what I mean? There ain't nothing to discuss. We already know what's up. That's why we're doing what we do. That's why I can say push the thing and come on here and talk and all that stuff, because I don't got no issues with Moors or anything like that. We ride with any Moors. Moors prove themselves wrong to me.
Mm-hmm.
Every Moor gets the benefit of the doubt. They prove themselves wrong to me. And I don't go back after you prove yourself wrong to me. That's that. It's over. You're a traitor. Simple. Nothing to discuss. That's just what it is. I know how to maneuver with you now. Because there's no way that you and I are on here for however long we're on here, and you're telling me some Moors connect. What if we wanted to start a barbershop at our temple and you were to connect for us to do that? We could have had a barbershop running in our temple.
Well, I most definitely plan on coming back up there. So now that I have
as a franchise of yours, as a franchise of your spot, we could have had what you got going on right there at our spot. Well, if somebody would have said, hey, you know what? You can call the Grand Sheik or whatever. People are playing games out here. We don't play games. The real ones are doing what needs to get done. The fake ones are playing around with this.
That everything happens in due season, Mo. That's why I say, everything happens in due season. Maybe it wasn't meant for us to connect at that time, but we connected now. So at the moment of time,
no. I'm just that wouldn't have came up if I didn't bring it up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that the time would have been then. When they connected with the Moor, they would have shown allegiance to their nation
and put you in contact with who put them on. What you mean?
Well, like I say, being I do see where you're at now, next time I do come across the borders, I know to reach out to you.
Make sure, for sure. No doubt.
You know, I most definitely will
No
reach
doubt.
out to you now that I know that you up there and you say the Moors are up there in numbers. So, you know, next time I do come across the border, I most definitely reach out to you and see where you at. And
Yeah,
see if
because
we can the Moors,
we're
you know,
here.
we can get together.
No doubt. Doors always open.
You know, and
All doors.
I offer the same thing if you come down here anywhere towards Cleveland. I don't know how much you travel, you know, but if you do, you know, I'll put my information in here. So like I said, if y'all ever down here in the States, you can
Islam.
you know, you're more
Give
than
th-
welcome to fall through.
give thanks for that. And that's what this is about. Moorish unity. That yes, the Moors are united. We don't need to be, you know what I mean, in some certain we're united. If we say that we're Moors and we go by the principles and this is 1, 2, 3 for you, then there's no need for us to have any type of issues. The only reason that we're gonna have issues is because there's traders who are in between the people who are supposed to be connecting.
Well, I don't even, you
And
know,
those
the ones
traders
we
in between
identify
are
as
the ones who are
traitors.
causing the problem.
I don't worry about the ones that people consider traitors. You know, like Brother Justice said, he said, let the dead bury the dead. You know, so we ain't gonna worry about them. You know what I mean? We're gonna worry about the ones that's trying to build and uplift. You know, the ones that's trying to do the work of the prophet. You know, these are the ones we're gonna worry about. We can't worry about the ones,
No,
you
it's not. It's
know.
not a worry. We're already. Like I said, I talked to Moors across the Atlantic Ocean today. They're not
Hmm.
worried about traders or whatever. They're not a worry. They're not an issue. I'm united with Moors.
Right, right. Which you should be. You know, which we all should be at the end of the
Yeah,
day.
no doubt. But Islam, more give thanks.
All right, Islam, peace, Mo.
We'll be in touch. Peace and love.
Islam, indeed, peace, peace and love.
Easy as that. No more unity. How? More in Cleveland. Just like that. Connect no issues. Know who's your grand sheik and all this. What temple you belong to and all that. No, he's a more, I'm a more. That's unity. That was the point. Trying to make that you can't make certain comments because the stuff isn't really like that. Moore's got this stuff locked down. It might not be locked down how you want to see it, but trust me, there's Moore's unity. There's Moore's working on things together right now as we're talking. There's Moore's writing. There's more studying. There's Moore's doing whatever it is that they're doing right now. There's a Moore making a plan right now that's going to be the plan for the Moors to do whatever it is that Moore presents to the Moors. And Moore's been doing that. It's not some new stuff. What is all the Moors worldwide? Peace and love to all the Moors everywhere. And wherever you're at, keep doing the work that you're doing there, Moore. It's having an impact. If you go from you knowing to 3 people around you wanting to study, to 5 people around you wanting to study, to 8 people around you wanting to study, to people stopping you in the street asking you what's that fez at, why you wearing that turban, sister? Are you a princess and all this? You know that you're doing something for the Moors, for the nation as a whole, just by you being yourself. Don't let these people convince you you're not doing anything for the Moorish nation because you didn't build some edifice or whatever like that. No, that's not where it's at. Be yourself, like your prophet told you to do, and everything will be straight. Honest all the Moors worldwide. Stay active, not passive. And again, it's not a worry about some traitors. They were around Noble Drew Ali when he was in the flesh. So we're not worried about some traitor. There's always going to be that. There's always going to be a Judas. There's always going to be a turncoat, a sellout. It's going to be there. No big deal. You just keep doing what you're supposed to do in the name of the nation, in the name of our nationality and birthright, and in the name of Noble Drew Ali. Don't leave him out the demonstration. Peace and love in Islam to all the Moors. Honors to all the mothers.